Welcome to the February 3rd Advance Report for McGowanGroup clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowanGroup, and your financial weatherman with your fast-paced tour of the global markets. And as we go through January, it has an indicator for the rest of the year. We've moved from euphoria to fear, and yes, it surrounds the coronavirus. Here's exactly what's happened so far this year. Dow Jones Industrial Average was off to a strong start, about a 2% gain right here, 29,400 essentially at the peak. And you can see right here the coronavirus impact building in the fact that China's growth engine is at least temporarily halted in a tragic epidemic. What does it do to the global markets for the rest of the year? Let's take a look at the impact first. Well, the Dow completely flattened out, basically a zero return or slightly less at the end of the week, and you can see as the headlines came what the impact was. Let's go directly to China. Chinese stocks would be the warning signal here because the growth is going to be impacted, and many of the companies have levered up in the last cycle. And what you can see here is the impact is a 9% decrease in the value of Chinese stocks as the market opened after the Chinese New Year. Similar impact for the other Chinese indexes in Hong Kong as well. This is an area where you don't want to be, and it depends on if you have a mutual fund that's international, what's the weighting in China? This one I would rather sit out. That's the first impact. It's not going to be tradable for quite some time, at least as it pertains to China. Now let's go to what's happened in the housing market. Have we leveled off in housing? There are a few reads on the U.S. economy this week that were important. The first being GDP was 2.1% confirmed for the fourth quarter, pretty much as expected. It's slow growth, but it's not a recession. Caterpillar announced a 4% increase in sales, a 34% increase in profit. Caterpillar considered a benchmark of global industry. Now, that says not a recession yet. What do we got in housing? This is the National Home Price Index. You can see the impact of the crisis actually wasn't finished until the end of 2011 because it takes time to sell real estate, right? And here, the inventory shortage began when there weren't enough houses for the buyers, and we've seen the bidding wars, and that's leveled off a bit, especially here if we take the 2019 numbers. We have slowing numbers for the home price appreciation. What's happened in Dallas? Let's take one of the hotter markets in the country, double-digit gains for extended periods through this time period, end of 2011, mirroring the national, and it's also leveled off. We're anemic appreciation in the housing market, maybe 2-3%, and the average has been about 3% in home price appreciation. We're back to normal, but not contracting yet. And we'll cover more details in the housing market when we go to NetWorthRadio.com this weekend. Now, if we take a look at gold, many of the things that happen, especially in Asia, motivate buying in gold. Should I buy gold? And gold hit near 1,600 an ounce in this impact. Now, this is a longer-term chart. You can see the high of nearly 1,900. Everybody was worried about inflation in 2011 because of Fed policy. Boom. Wow, that's a low of 1,000 per troy ounce from 1,900. That was a long bear cycle, and the calls to buy gold back there clearly wrong and painful. Now at 1,600. Is it a safe haven? Well, I have a longer-term lesson for investors. Here we go. This is a 50-year chart. Back at the height of inflation, everybody thought, we'll buy gold. 800 an ounce was that number you see right here. What was the result? Well, at the low point, we get out to 2002 here, and you can see gold at 250 an ounce. What happened to the gold prices? Well, relative to inflation, gold lost about 3/4 of its buying power in relative value. And that was a very long period. You can see it didn't wake up until this run straight to 1900. Wow, was that a safe haven? Well, that's a miserable 20-year period right here, and there's no guarantees it doesn't happen again. There's no income. So when you consider a long-term plan, what do we do for 2020 now that we've moved from euphoria to fear? It says that you want to get paid to wait in the investments. That's a key part to the process. If you're ready to upgrade your financial plan with a vision for 2030, 2040, McGowanGroup Asset Management and our new offices at the Crescent, we want to give you a tour, 1-hour brainstorming session. Start the process now at NetWorthRadio.com. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. I'm Spencer McGowan, President, McGowan Group, your financial weatherman. We sponsor each week NetWorthRadio.com broadcast. That has the charts and graphs, many of which you saw today. We also sponsor this YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for fast-breaking news, an alert when we post something in a market condition that may have changed. Our goal is to help you as an investor make the right decisions at the right time. And that's part of what this YouTube channel is about, as well as NetWorthRadio.com. I am well served with a team of 10 people, including myself. And that team that cares is actually made up of people who devoted to your net profits and your success, as well as excellence in service. If you want an educational experience to follow this up, get to NetWorthRadio.com, the McGowanGroup.com. Right here, we disclose our net client experience all the way back to 2001. What that includes, the bear market cycles of 02, 08, 2018, and the recoveries through the most recent quarter. That is true education of investors and exactly how our clients have done, disclosed right here. Further disclosures, value at risk of loss. Yes, investments are going to fluctuate. That's part of the reason for this broadcast. And that can actually work to your advantage. We'll build that into your plan. So I urge you to go to NetWorthRadio.com, fill out the preliminary client questionnaire, a free 1-hour brainstorming session by phone or at the Crescent in Dallas, and we will map out a multi-year plan for you and your family that's appropriate. Just because we talk about a security on this broadcast or any securities doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until you have that written plan. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back next week as your financial weatherman.